weeks. Days after beating Hillary Clinton in Wisconsin, he gets slammed for his comments on gun control. Hillary's camp says he's not qualified to lead, and now he's got to sit with us. Relax, Bernie, baby. You know how we love you. Please welcome back to The View, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Smaller, but it's great. Thank you.
You're playing Simon and Garfunkel's America, I believe. One of your campaign songs?
Yep.
That's good. You know, I have to tell you, I am happy that you won huge in Wisconsin. The last 6 out of 7 caucuses and primaries, right? You won 6 out of 7.
Won 6 out of the last caucuses and primaries.
Very good. I'm happy for you. What I'm not happy about is that the Democrats, you and Hillary, have taken a turn that I don't like. It's like you're starting to turn on each other like the Republicans. I liked it that you were such a gentleman, such a mensch, and she was even being ladylike about it. I loved that. And now don't go down to their level.
Okay, fair, good point.
Yeah.
And I hope that stops. I think the people of this country understand we have some enormous crises, and they want the candidates to deal with these crises. And certainly they do not want to have us act like Republicans who are an embarrassment to this entire country in terms of how they are running their campaign. So all I will say in defense, and I hope we can get beyond this, is we have won 6 out of the last 7 caucuses and primaries. My perception is, and I think it is clear, that the Clinton campaign has made a decision, especially here in New York, to get a little bit rough with us. And I just wanted to make it clear to the Clinton people, yes, I come from a nice little state of Vermont, but if we're hit, we can hit back. And I'm not going to be...
So what would you say to Hillary and a lot of the other people who are still questioning if you're a Democrat?
Well, I have been in the Democratic caucus in the House of Representatives for 16 years. I've been in the Democratic caucus in the Senate for 9 years. I was chairman appointed by the Democratic Party in the Senate, chairman of the Veterans Committee for 2 years. I am now the ranking member, leader of the opposition, elected by Democrats on the Budget Committee. I think after 25 years in the Democratic caucus, that makes me, you know, a Democrat. On the other hand, I freely, but here's the point too. I am the longest serving independent in the history of the United States Congress. And for Democrats to win elections, you know what? You need independents too.
You do.
And by the way, you'll need some Republicans too. So I'm not embarrassed that we're getting support across the board.
Right. You talked a minute ago, if you're hit, you're going to hit back. So I don't know if that was what the comment you talked about Hillary not being qualified to be president. She's been Secretary of State, First Lady, Senator. What exactly did you mean?
What I meant by this, and again, this was a response to attacks against me for not being qualified. What I meant by this is certainly, does she have the experience? Obviously she does. She was Secretary of State, a U.S. Senator. I thought an outstanding First Lady in many respects, breaking the mold. But what I meant by that, what I thought I made clear, is you call into question the judgment of somebody, I believe, who voted for the war in Iraq, which turns out to be one of the more disastrous foreign policy blunders in our history.
But she regrets that, doesn't she?
Yes, but but here's the point too, and she regrets a lot of things. And I think, and I don't mean, and in saying that, I don't mean to be sarcastic. We all make mistakes. But I regret less than she does because I had the courage to vote the right way, even when it was not necessarily popular. She regrets in 1996, give you an example, I had to cast a very difficult vote, a very unpopular vote, wasn't easy. And that was the so-called Defense of Marriage Act. Do you remember what that is? So-called DOMA.
Right.
And what DOMA was about was the saying that if somebody got married, a gay couple got married in a state, they would not be able to get federal benefits. They could not take that marriage to another state. Well, think back, in 1996, respect for gay rights was not then what it is today.
Within reason, because everything's going down over there in the South.
No,
many things.
That's
a lot of
another
things
thing.
going wrong right now.
But that was a tough vote. And, you know, Secretary Clinton supported DOMA. Her husband supported DOMA, signed the bill, as a matter of fact. I stood out against that. So the point is, it's sometimes you got to stand up even when it is not necessarily popular.
Well, how are you
and I think at issues like Wall Street deregulation, the war in Iraq, environmental issues, I was there even when the going was tough.
What would you say to all those states that, well, that state that passed that crazy anti-gay law and all of the other states that are going against the progression of the LGBT community now? What would you say to them?
Well, not only what I would say, as President of the United States, I would do everything I can to overturn these outrageous decisions by Mississippi, North Carolina, etc. We have gone too far as a nation. God knows we have seen so much discrimination in our history, right? Against the African-American community, against Latinos, against the Irish, the Italians, the Jews. What we are trying to do is say, you have your political views, that's fine. But I hope we remember what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told us, and that is you judge people on their character, not on the color of their skin, and I would add to, not on their gender or their sexual orientation. So,
you were here, I pressed you on your gun position.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it again. And that's because you said that the families who lost loved ones in the Sandy Hook school shooting should not be allowed to sue the gun manufacturers. You've always been about whatever it takes. Just one second, though. You've always talked about increasing corporate responsibility. Then why don't you hold gun manufacturers responsible for...
Good, fair question. But what you quoted is not exactly what I said. People have a right in this country to bring lawsuits wherever they want, and that's certainly in the case of anybody. Here is the issue. I come, for example, give you an example. I come from a small state. You own a gun shop. She goes in, goes through the instant background check, legally purchases a gun. You sell her that gun. She flips out or does whatever. She goes out and she kills 3 people. Should you be held liable for selling her that weapon legally? I don't think so. No. I honestly don't think so.
But, Senator, you supported almost a blanket immunity for gun manufacturers. What other industry allows that kind of blanket immunity when children are hurt?
In the bill that I supported, there was also language that banned ammunition that could kill police officers who had body armor. There was also language in it that had safety locks to prevent children from killing each other or themselves. What I have said is that I am absolutely willing to relook that bill so that where we do not give them immunity is if you are a manufacturer and you are selling guns into a community and the word is out, we have information that those guns are going to criminals, you know what? You should know that.
Was your support of that bill a mistake?
That bill had some good provisions in it. It had some bad provisions in it.
All right. We have to take a break. We love having you. Stay with us. We'll have more with Senator Bernie Sanders right after this.